Okay, so today we're going to be focusing on the double and the half identities. Okay. So yesterday we talked about the sum, the difference, the double, and the half. So it asks us to evaluate the following trig functions using either the double or the half identity. Okay. So I'm looking at the sine of 112.5. Okay. So obviously here we're going to be using either the double or half, and since there is no unit circle value I can double and get 112.5, this is obviously a half angle identity, which means that I'm going to be using the half angle for sine. Okay, so the half angle for sine looks like this: sine of theta over 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 1 minus cosine theta over 2. Okay, so that means that this 112.5 is whatever my angle divided by 2 is. So that means that basically this is the same thing as sine of 225 over 2. So using this, that means this right here is my theta. And then using this equation here to find the value of it. Now, the plus or minus, since 112.5 is in the second quadrant, we're going to be using the positive one. And it's going to be the square root of 1 minus cosine of 225 degrees. And that's how the half angle identity works. Okay? So this angle right here is half of 225, and that's what we use to plug in for our theta. Now we have to finish evaluating it and simplify. So cosine of 225, that's one of our unit circle values. So this is going to be the square root of 1 minus, and cosine of 225 is negative square root of 2 over 2 over 2. Or 1 plus root 2 over 2 over 2. And that's it. That is the sine of 112.5 degrees. That's all there is to it. Okay? Now, the second one, the tangent of 7 pi over 12. Okay? So we're going to be using either the double or the half identity. Okay? So in this case, which one do we want to use? Well, is this angle double one of my unit circle values or half of one of my circle values? Okay, so think of it this way. This is, again, like the last one, tangent of 7 pi over 12 is the same thing as 7 pi over 6 divided by 2. So we can use the half angle identity for tangent. And the half angle identity for tangent, there is multiple ones. Okay? So tangent of theta over 2, you can either use the square root one, which is 1 minus cosine theta over 1 plus cosine theta, which is equal to also 1 minus cosine theta over sine theta, or you could use sine theta over 1 plus cosine theta, or you could use cosecant theta minus cotangent theta. You could use any one of these formulas. They are all equal. So use the one that you like best. The one I like best is this one. And the reason I like that one is because it uses cosine and sine, which I know very easily off the unit circle. And it's only got one thing in the denominator. So to simplify it makes my life a whole lot easier. So that's the one I'm going to use. So this is going to be 1 minus the cosine at 7 pi over 6 over sine at 7 pi over 6. Okay? And now we just use our unit circle values. So 1 minus cosine at 7 pi over 6, negative square root of 3 over 2, over sine at 7 pi over 6, which is negative 1/2. Which means dividing by negative 1/2 is the same thing as multiplying by negative 2. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And since this becomes positive, we get negative square root of 3. And that is my answer. And for my pre-cal students, the code for today is UM4D question mark. UM4D question mark. So, for these identities, like this one, the tangent, make sure you pick the one that's going to work the best for you. Okay? The other ones you're going to have to figure, actually there's only a couple for them. But this one you could pick any one of them. And we're just basically plugging values in that we can use unit circle values to define non-unit circle values.